Hello, Bodyslam.net, Raw Dogs post show right here. You see Cory Hays. I am JPJ. We are here this evening to go over what I thought was a fun episode of Monday Night Raw.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, some good wrestling on this show of Monday Night Raw. And we're gonna recap that sucker with you right now. But before we dive in, how you doing tonight, my man, Cor?
I'm doing a lot better than you. I'm just gonna say that right now. I'm doing a lot better than you. I'm gonna send my condolences to you right now.
Here's the thing.
I'm gonna send my condolences to you right now because
it's his Achilles, man. It's over. It's over. It's over.
It's the worst. It's the worst. I know that all too well. The injury bug. And
even if we would
have, but I'm doing.
Good. I'm glad. Even if we would have lost that game, we froze a little bit. Are you still with me? You still with me, Cor? Yeah, all right. Yeah. Even if we still would have lost that game, I would have been sitting here telling you I still believe the Celtics win in 7. But that is no question his Achilles, it looked like. And that means he's out maybe through most of next year as well.
He'll be out. He'll be out probably.
Yeah, it's brutal. That's just a brutal
He's probably going to be out the entire season. And the Celtics, they're going to have to rely on Jaylen Brown now. Jaylen Brown.
They're going to
and KP, they were talking about trading KP in the offseason, but they can't do that anymore.
I don't know. I don't know. I think they still blow it up even if Tatum is out.
They have to find a way with that money. Yeah,
I know.
They gotta find a way with that money. But
I'm not gonna lie to you. I enjoyed all of Raw, but that last 45 minutes, I was in a daze. It was
definitely tough for you. I know.
Yeah, I felt like I lost a family member. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, my dad was telling me, and I was like, man, fuck it sucks. The fact that
brutal.
Tatum went down like that, you could tell right away. He grabbed
right away. Non-contact, immediately grabbed it, crying, banging the floor. I was like, oh, no, not good. Not good.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. That's sports sometimes. They rip your heart out. It rips your heart out most of the time.
Like I said, I know that all too well.
Yeah. But you know what didn't rip my heart out? This Monday Night Raw, because we had a good
one. We thought it was going to be very good. We thought it was going to be a good one.
Yes, we did. They were in Louisville, Kentucky this evening, and the show opens up with CM Punk. We see a recap of last week's Raw with Heyman and the master plan and all that stuff. And then we have a very angry looking CM Punk. They did the shot where they showed him walk through the back to the ring. And he tells us right away, he's like, I'm pissed off
at myself.
He said, I'm pissed off. He goes, I got a list of enemies I could be pissed off at, but you know who's at the top of that list? That is me. And he says, I've been here before. This isn't the first time Heyman stabbed me in the back. He says, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. He goes 12, and he says 12 years ago, Heyman smashed a ladder into his head and made him get 13 staples.
Mm-hmm.
But he thought they had both grown as people, but obviously not. He said, Jey Uso tried to warn me. He says, Paul Heyman is Paul. He is what he is. He's a fat little snake, he called him.
Where are you, Penguin?
Yeah, that was amazing. He rips into Paul, and then he calls Seth Rollins Temu CM Punk. And then we hear Heyman come over the mic, and Punk is not. He's like, nope, you're not saying that bull crap with me. Like, just where are you, Penguin? He said, where are you, Penguin?
You're gonna come out here. Come here. Come on.
And Heyman's walking with the purpose, and Punk is like, you want to walk with the purpose? Get in this ring right now and see what happens. But not far behind Mr. Heyman was Seth freaking Rollins and Braun Breaker. Rollins then gets on the mic. He says that just when he thinks Punk can't get more selfish or egotistical, he finds a way to top himself. He said, they dive into more Paul Heyman stuff. Seth said everything is making him sick. And then I'll let you obviously say some stuff that happened with the rest of this promo and the Braun Breaker stuff and things like that. But I thought this was a good little fun segment. I like angry CM Punk. That's the CM Punk I like. I don't like the, hey, I'm in Louisville. I'm happy to be. No.
Okay. Well, he started out saying that.
He did. Still, I need him to stop saying that. But I like angry CM Punk, and we're seeing more angry CM Punk lately.
He was walking to the ring, and my roommate was standing at my door, and I said exactly what he was going to say when he grabbed the mic.
Yeah.
Great time to be alive.
It's exactly what we want to hear from CM Punk. That's exactly what
CM Punk starts, like you said, you mentioned the promo and what's happening in the promo. Seth Rollins comes out. CM Punk basically says that Seth Rollins isn't anything without his entrance music.
Yes.
which a lot of people were like, "You're pointing that at the wrong person."
Yeah,
you're saying that to the wrong person.
Yeah, that is.
While Seth Rollins is very notorious for that entrance music, a lot of people were like, "You're saying it to the guy that's the one that's not holding the World Heavyweight Championship right now."
Correct.
That's who you should be saying it to. So I found that kind of funny. Then you have Braun Breaker goes into the ring and goes and tries to attack CM Punk. They get a little battle, but the numbers game catches up to Punk until Sami Zayn comes out of the crowd, and Sami Zayn comes into the ring. The numbers game catches Sami Zayn too. Takes
it does.
Down. Then all of a sudden you hear the crowd roar, and the World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso comes into the ring, and the numbers game also gets to him.
Yeah.
Until CM Punk and Sami Zayn come into the ring with steel chairs and chase him off.
Yes, it does.
You have CM Punk, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn standing tall in the ring, just staring down the Penguin, Braun Breaker, and Seth Rollins to end that segment, which it was a very good opening segment to Monday Night.
Yes, I thought so.
That's a very good way to start the show. Big fan of it. No complaints on my end when it comes to that segment.
Agreed. And they're kind of, they're getting multiple people involved here, where you have Sammy, Punk, and Jay, and we'll get into some stuff that happens a little bit later on too. That kind of, makes the plot go a little bit thicker.
There's a lot.
There is. We then see, as we're getting ready for our next match, we see Penta make his entrance, and then Pat McAfee makes his entrance. He's showing up a little late to the party, but Pat McAfee joins. So just 2 days after he took a beating by Gunther at Backlash, we see that Pat McAfee is shaking off the effects and showing up a little late, but better late than never. So he said that he was delayed in getting cleared to return. That's how he phrased it.
He had to talk to WWE Medical to get.
Yes, but he was cleared to return, so he's back at the table. And then let me tell you, we had ourselves, what a fun match this was, as you knew it would be.
Yeah,
with Chad Gable and Penta. We've seen it before. This was Penta's
debut first debut match. Yeah.
Exactly. This was a rematch of the debut match with Penta and Chad Gable, and it was as good as that debut match was. This was 100%. Really good, Corey. Really good.
100%. I definitely enjoyed it, just like I enjoyed the debut match. I think I enjoyed this better than the debut match, actually.
I would agree.
I think you could tell that Penta and them, Chad Gable, have fantastic chemistry. That chemistry is great. Chad Gable's good compadre, El Grande Americano, was not here tonight.
No, speed champion, El Grande Americano.
Yeah, the new WWE speed champion out here doing some work in Mexico, they said, on a tour of Mexico currently. So he wasn't there to help Chad Gable, like he helped Dominic Mysterio on Saturday at Backlash. But ultimately, Penta gets the victory over Chad Gable again. Penta hits a Mexican Destroyer off of the top rope, which, good Lord, that Mexican Destroyer.
Yeah, incredible.
It's absolutely beautiful.
It might not be the only one we see Penta hit tonight.
Oh, yeah. That was a beautiful Mexican Destroyer where he jumps off the top rope, lands, flips over, 1, 2, 3. Penta gets the win in very good fashion. Back and forth a little bit in the match, but fantastic. Absolutely enjoyed that opening match.
Absolutely. Very much enjoyed it. And then we went into Roxanne Perez and Julia cutting a promo. They talk about how the women's division isn't safe and they're going to take over. Kind of quick little promo before we go to the break. We do find out that will be the main event of the evening as well, the women's tag match. So that was good. Then we come back from commercial, and we are in the Judgment Day clubhouse. Dominic Mysterio, he gets off the phone with Liv.
This segment.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And they, well, first
Good
of all,
morning.
Yeah, Raquel is talking about how much she misses Liv, and Carlito's trying to make his move, and he's like, "Well, we could hang out. We can hang out if you want." And Raquel's like, "God Almighty, just leave me alone. Where's Liv?" And then Dom comes in, and Raquel's like, "How's Liv? How's Liv doing? Is Liv great? Doing great?" And Dom's like, "Yeah, she's doing great, but she confused me. She said good morning." And then JD McDonough is like,
here.
"Yeah." And then JD McDonough looks at Dom and goes, "Please tell me you've heard of time zones before."
that popped me. That popped me.
And then Dom just kind of shrugs it off like, whatever. Like,
whatever. Goes over and talks to Finn. They have a little conversation there.
Yeah.
And then Finn goes off and goes to get ready for his match later on tonight. And Dom walks back over to the Judgment Day, and the Judgment Day is like, "Well, we're going to teach you about this, Dom.
Yeah.
Teach you about some time zones here."
Yeah, that's hilarious. Good stuff. Good stuff. We then got a package looking at the Gunther and Pat McAfee match. And then they kind of go to the table. McAfee gets a standing ovation from the crowd for the effort on Saturday. I thought that match was I know we're here to talk about Raw, but I thought that match exceeded all expectations.
This is Raw, Dogs, but we could talk about anything and everything. So
yeah, I thought that match exceeded expectations.
It was. I watched it at 2:30 in the morning, and
your sister graduated. Did that go well?
Absolutely. She had a fantastic weekend. It was great. My aunt flew in for it, so nice. She was here for the weekend. Did some stuff on Friday, went to dinner Friday. Then Saturday was the graduation. We had the graduation on the campus of USF, afternoon graduation. So we had that. Then did like a whole celebration the rest of the day. Yeah. Went to dinner, and then I dropped my sister and her friends off to go have fun for a little while.
Oh yeah.
Then I took my sister and her friends back to the house. So it was a long Saturday, but it was worth it. I was so proud. I was a proud big brother. And it was worth it. I didn't get to watch Backlash live, but I saw a lot of my scoops were being confirmed while the show was ongoing. So that's always fun.
That's always good. That's always a plus. That's always a plus. Yeah, I thought the McAfee Gunther match was good for what it was. I was expecting it to go a little bit shorter than it went. It went longer than I thought, but I thought overall I was sports entertained.
That was the whole point of it. People wanted to dog it. They obviously wanted to see Gunther beat the living shit out of him. But the point was McAfee standing up for his friend, his colleague. That's the whole reason why they were fighting in the first place. McAfee is fighting on behalf of Michael Cole. Gunther literally is chopping the shit out of Pat McAfee. You saw the aftermath of the picture after Pat McAfee's chest, both sides, his shoulders, very red, very red.
He look at McAfee. He took a beating in that one.
He did the job.
Yeah, he did the job. So I thought it was well done.
I can't say anything bad about that match.
So we see a recap, and then McAfee's kind of getting an ovation from the crowd for the effort, and he talks about being battered and bruised, and he said he even popped a blood vessel in his eye, and he says he respects Gunther and hopes he respects him a little bit more as well now, which is at the end of the match at Backlash, Michael Cole, which I loved Michael Cole's kind of involvement in that match and how that kind of went down. But Gunther kind of gave both of them kind of like a, all right, good job, guys, type thing at the end of the match at Backlash too. So
yeah, he gave a tip of the cap, and I think that's what the Louisville crowd did too. They basically chanting his name and standing ovation, like we said. Yeah, he got his flowers for his performance, even though it wasn't really the greatest wrestling match you're ever going to see, but it did its job. It did what it was supposed to.
Yeah. Then we get CM Punk in the locker room, and Sami Zayn rolls up. And he basically just asks CM Punk, he says, "Hey man, we good?" He goes, we find out that they have announced for Saturday night's main event, you'll be in attendance, that we have a massive tag match that was booked this evening. It'll be Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins going up against Sami Zayn and CM Punk.
I will be seated for that one.
100%.
That is a match that I can get into. I like a bunch of the IWC weren't really feeling the two matches that were announced / rumored, which one of them was courtesy of me.
Yeah.
One of the matches was courtesy of me, and if you don't know, the Backlash press conference kind of set up what
I would think that was a foreshadowing.
The match that I'm talking about, which is John Cena versus R-Truth. But you also had Logan Paul versus Jey Uso at Saturday night's main event, which was confirmed earlier in the week. So you have that. But yeah, that match being confirmed, you have both of them being like, Sammy's like, I didn't think I could trust you when you came in here. Punk's like, I can't trust anybody right now, but can I trust you? And they have this little back and forth, and it keeps you thinking. You're like, so what's going to happen between the two of them? They're going up against this new duo. Are these two going to be able to coexist? And that's what WWE likes to do a lot of the time. Can they coexist? Can they coexist tag teams? So it's good backstage segment to set up to keep you thinking like what's going to happen between the two of them. Like you said, I'll be in attendance for that. I'm excited for that one.
Yes, should be really, really good. We then had ourselves New Day on commentary for a tag team match between the Creed brothers and the War Raiders. Pretty decent little tag match that these guys had going on. But at the end of it, we see the New Day kind of get up from the table. Xavier Woods causes a referee distraction as Kofi Kingston runs up to the corner and takes out Ivar, who is setting up his big man moonsault. And then that turns right into the Brutus Ball device on Ivar. And the Creed brothers get a big win, a much needed win, I think, for the Creed brothers. Obviously with help.
The Creed brothers are very good.
They are very, very good. Very, very good. What'd you think of this match, Corey?
The match was what I thought it was going to be. Two very good tag teams in the ring going at it. Ultimately, you knew New Day was going to get involved in this because they're the focal point of this entire story. They're the reason these two teams are fighting in the first place. So like you said, New Day gets involved. Creed brothers get the W because of the interference. And it looks like the Creed brothers are going to be granted a championship opportunity as a result of this.
Yes, they should. And they are quite good. They are quite good. I don't think that they'll win the tag belts in this opportunity, but I feel like they should win those things sooner than later. They're a very talented tag team. We have a backstage segment with Braun, Paul Heyman, and Seth Rollins. Rollins is talking to Braun Breaker. He's saying that Punk and Zayn probably think they got one up on them. Got us against the wall. Maybe they even feel like they're winning, but they have no idea what he is capable of. He tells Braun, he said he's going to take off. He says, but I got one more thing I need you to do for me before I do take off. And he kind of whispers something in his ear. And he's like, yeah, have some fun, man. And that's about it. And then we'll get to what we see a little bit later. Because then right before we go to break, we see Adam Pearce. He finishes talking to Jey Uso. So they kind of tease something right there on the way to break. Like, I wonder what he was just talking to him about. Because when we come back from commercial, main event Jey Uso makes his entrance to the ring. And then, he begins to cut a promo and he's talking about Logan Paul, but he gets interrupted, Corey. And he doesn't get interrupted by Logan Paul.
Nope, no Logan Paul.
He gets interrupted by a familiar face for Mr. Jey Uso. Why don't you talk about who interrupts him and kind of how the rest of this promo went down?
Well, we kind of just talked about him a few minutes ago. The man who interrupts Jey Uso is the former World Heavyweight Champion, the Ring General, Gunther. And Gunther comes out and they start talking and going. Gunther starts cutting the promo. Gunther tells Jey Uso, you know what Adam Pearce just told you in the back. He comes out and says basically the winner of Jey Uso versus Logan Paul at Saturday night's main event is going to face me on June 9th in Phoenix, Arizona for that World Heavyweight Championship. And they're going to hand it right back to me, the rightful owner of the World Heavyweight Championship. So that is made official on June 9th, Monday Night Raw. you're going to have Gunther versus either Jey Uso or Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I'll be honest, there's been a lot of rumblings lately about potential matches going to be happening this summer. I think June 9th is where that match gets kickstarted and eventually is made official.
June 9th. That would be the Raw after Money in the Bank?
Correct.
Yeah?
Correct.
Right. Fair enough.
Yeah. I think that rumored Gunther versus Goldberg match is going to start rolling into effect June 9th. I think Goldberg ends up costing Gunther the championship, and that match ultimately happens at Night of Champions.
All right.
That's what I think is going to come out of this story.
All right. What now? Do you think that Gunther will be the champion? No. You think Jay beats Gunther when they
I think Goldberg costs Gunther.
So Goldberg shows up and helps Jay win.
Correct.
Fair enough. That would be a good way to go about it because they do have the history that happened, obviously, with that segment from last year of Bad Blood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So that's what I think. I think they're gonna go and circle back into it. It had been reported a while ago that was the direction they were going. Then it cooled off, and now it looks like that's the direction they're going again.
All right. Hey, listen, for a last match for Goldberg, I mean, Gunther would be quite he's going to get a good match out of him because Gunther gets good matches out of everybody.
100%.
We then had Io Sky cutting a quick promo about Roxanne.
I love these promos where they let her go back between English and Japanese. Mm-hmm. I love it. I love these promos, and she's comfortable. You can tell cutting the promo. She's very comfortable with the way that she's cutting her promos now.
Yep, agreed. And she's talking about Roxanne Perez and Julia. She said they'll be learning the same lesson that Rhea and Bianca learned at WrestleMania. So a good little promo with Io. I agree with you. I love, and we saw when Julia was talking in a different lane, the same thing. It's a similar thing. I love how they lean into this now. They're not trying to, they're like, no, we know you can talk some good English too, but we're gonna lean into. It works so well. Even when they were doing it with Shinsuke, it just
started.
It's just a working formula,
100%. And if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. We then got a nice little memorial for Sabu. R.I.P. to Sabu. I was an ECW kid, an original ECW kid. It was on at 1 a.m. on Friday nights on the Spanish channel.
And you would watch
where I was from, and my 13-year-old ass was up watching that because it was the craziest shit. It was the craziest shit I had ever seen, and I loved it. And Sabu was one of the staples early on. It was Raven, it was Sandman, it was Sabu, RVD, Taz. Sabu was just the craziest motherfucker on that show.
He was a trailblazer in the professional wrestling world.
Man, tremendous. 100%. Him and Rob Van Dam, tremendous tag team. Long-time tag team. That match with Hayabusa and, oh my God. I'm going to draw a blank on the other name, but man, just ahead of their time. And Sabu is a legend, and 60 years old is too young.
Unfortunately, we lost him. Yeah. 3 weeks. He had his retirement match 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, against Joey Janela, the barbed wire match there for GCW. Just unfortunate, but I thought this memorial was nice. I thought they did a nice little thing. It was a little different. They were showing footage and still pictures, but they had Michael Cole and Pat McAfee narrating over it and saying some nice words. I thought it was very well done.
I definitely liked it. Got a little emotional watching that one.
For sure.
Me not really being a ECW kid. Like I said, I started watching in 05, so I didn't really get that era. 05 is they had One Night Stand. I watched that one, but I didn't get to watch the original. I didn't get to watch the original ECW, so I went back throughout the years and I watched it. I would watch old episodes on the WWE Network. And then it turned to Peacock. I watched them on Peacock. Sabu was I'm gonna take a book out of RVD and say he was one of a kind. Sabu was one of them.
He sure was.
So
Tremendous.
he will be missed.
Yeah.
That was a great way for them to honor him, not just the graphic.
Yeah, they had the graphic at the beginning of the show as well.
Michael Cole was going over all the accolades, everything that he had done, who he competed against. It was very well done for a minute, the minute that they had.
Yeah.
So I definitely enjoyed that. Before you get to the next thing that happened on the actual show, I want to jump in and talk about what happened on this commercial break after that.
Yes, please do.
So Adam Pearce is having a backstage segment with the War Raiders, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the War Raiders are like, you see, every single time something happens with the New Day, we're sick of it. We're sick of it. We want something to be done about it. New Day comes in and basically says, you're not getting anything from us. You haven't done anything to deserve a championship opportunity against us. Mm-hmm. And Adam Pearce basically stands in and says, the referee's decision is final. The Creed brothers beat you guys, so the Creed brothers are getting a championship opportunity. Then he turns to New Day and says, since you want to stick your nose into their business, now their business is going to be you, because now it's going to be a triple threat tag team match for your World Tag Team Championships. So we're getting a triple threat for the World Tag Team Championships. No dates or location was announced during that segment. He just granted the War Raiders another opportunity along with the Creed brothers now. All
right. So we like that. WWE knows how to do those triple threat matches quite well.
Their multi-person matches over the last month have been incredible. I've really enjoyed them, whether it's tag team or just singles. Yeah, where it's multi-man, have been so good, so good.
Yep. All right, so we come back from commercial, and Ludwig Kaiser is about to get interviewed. It seemed like they might have been leaning into him potentially being in the Money in the Bank match. They had just shown a Money in the Bank preview before it. They were talking to him about him kind of making his mark over the last little bit. And we hear a commotion before he can really say anything. And the cameraman kind of turns and runs, and we see Braun Breaker standing over Jey Uso. So Braun clearly attacked Jey Uso, or as it looks like he did. And the agents are swarming and all that stuff, getting Braun out of there. So Sami Zayn and CM Punk eventually arrive to check on Jey as well, and they kind of share a look at each other. So continuing, we assume that was what Seth told Braun.
Oh, yeah, because that's the only time that we saw him.
Exactly. I need you to do one more thing for me. I need you to go attack and take Jey out for me. And that's what he did.
Yeah, 100%.
Then that circles into our next match, and this one was another real good one. AJ Styles and Finn Balor throwing it back to the Bullet Club days. This, Corey, I'll let you go for a bit. This was a banger, man.
I'm sick and tired of people saying that these two guys are old and can't work and they're washed up.
The AJ transition from the calf
crusher to the Styles Clash.
I didn't even know you could do that.
I
didn't even know he could do
that. In the calf crusher, Finn Balor's trying to get out of the calf crusher. They roll over. He immediately hits the Styles Clash. I was like, holy incredible shit.
Yeah.
What in the world is going on? But yes, they still can go, both of them. WWE alluded to their Bullet Club, Club past on commentary. Michael Cole, he always seems to do that. Michael Cole likes to lean into the past from other people. He seems to do that all the time, and I like that. It's a breath of fresh air. We're not stupid. We know these people have had stuff before WWE, so we're not dumb. We know don't insult our intelligence.
Yes, please.
But yes, this match was exactly what I thought it was going to be. This one was planned. The last time that they faced each other,
short notice
on a day's notice.
Yes,
because of illness.
Yes,
and that match was a banger. But this one is it's up there with it. It's up there with it. Their transitions, their reversals in this match, so good, good. Ultimately, you get AJ Styles picking up the win with the phenomenal forearm over Finn Balor, but AJ Styles was able to pick up the win because we saw a certain person that we were talking about earlier come back down and wreak some havoc. Penta.
Yes.
Penta shows up and takes out the entire Judgment Day. Penta,
Yes, he does.
And he hits another fucking Mexican destroyer.
Yeah.
Only this time he's jumping off of JD McDonough's back and onto Carlito on the outside of the ring. It was insane.
Yeah,
it was insane.
Very good spot. Yeah, Penta showed up. He was standing like on the barricade, crowds going nuts, and that was a great spot for that Mexican destroyer. Yeah, and it helps AJ get the victory there. So
yeah,
I think
we're moving towards a direction of AJ Styles going after Dominic Mysterio.
I agree. And if you notice in all these Judgment Day segments, Finn Balor is staring a hole through Dom too, and most of them. So I think we're gonna get some good stuff.
They talked about that too. He's like, you didn't look very happy, and you hesitated to use the chair on Saturday. So I think it's gonna go for full circle. We're going to have AJ Styles and Finn Balor both competing for that Intercontinental Championship, probably.
I agree. All right. And then you want to talk about something. We continued with the great segments on Raw. We come back from commercial, and the man, Becky Lynch, is perched on the turnbuckles, and she's ready to talk. She says that she wasn't beaten on Saturday. She says Lyra Valkyria was beaten on Saturday.
Because one of us ended up in the hospital and the other one went to their bus and took a shower and took a shot of tequila and got to chill back.
Yeah. Good stuff there. And then she goes, I might have lost, but after the bell rang, I didn't hear defeat. I heard an alarm going off in my ear about how much she's been manipulated. Not just by Lyra, but by the crowd.
The people, yep.
And she said, I was gone for almost a year. And do you know why I left? Because of you guys.
Hey, that sounds familiar.
I know, right? It's almost like there's a guy on the show that has this
on the other show.
Chance. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. But she says, when I won my last world title, I heard it. I saw what you guys were writing on the internet. I saw what you guys were writing on social media. And you know what? I felt underappreciated. So I said, you know what? I'm getting out of here. And she goes, and I was always asked by people close to me, do I miss it? And of course I did. But I loved how she talked about this. She said, but I actually felt like I was like a better person and in a better space mentally when I wasn't here.
That's great. That's great for them to
like
do that.
Lean into that, right? Like that's different.
I was a big fan of that one.
Yes, I really liked how they went down that angle. And they did it in a way where Becky was also like, she was talking to the fans about like the stuff why we liked Becky. She was like, I was you were me. Like, you helped build my career. I wouldn't be the man without you guys.
Yeah, you people.
When I did this, we did that together. And the crowd was like loudly like cheering more and more as she was going through this list of things.
And then she ripped.
And then she was like, but then I won. And when I won, you stopped cheering because then I'm not like you anymore because you guys are failures and you don't know what success feels like. And I was like, this is unbelievable. Like, this is terrific the way she did it.
Her alluding to Becky Hogan in this promo was outstanding. You knew that's what she was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
You knew she was leaning into, and that's one thing I love about this regime is they let them lean into stuff that's on social media. They say they don't care about what people say on social media, but they sure as hell love to mention social media a lot. So
they sure do.
Hey, they sure as hell love to mention social media a lot. So her leaning into that and talking about the people turning their back on her when she won and what happened after that, the aftermath and her walking away. And then she finishes the promo basically by saying, she says the locker room is finally going to realize what it's like to be held down by the man.
Yeah, I loved it. And even like right before that too, she's like, I don't have to spin my wheels trying to prove to you guys what I'm not. So from now on, I'm going to be whatever I say I am. She said greedy, cutthroat, selfish. She's like all of it. I'm going to be all that. And
she
then
had Pat McAfee quoting Eminem on commentary.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And then she said that line you said, all the girls in the back are going to find out what it's like to be held down by the man, which is a great line. A great line. Then we got another really good video package with Rusev.
I'm loving his presentation so far.
Yeah.
I'm loving basically he's saying that I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it. Otis, you didn't listen, so I had to do this to you. Anybody that doesn't understand what I'm saying, I'm gonna have to do it to you too. So he's basically, I'm loving the fact that they are leaning into this Redeemer persona. Like I said, they're not insulting our intelligence. They're going into a character that he's comfortable with, something that he came up with himself over in AEW, and something that he is going to wreak havoc on this roster. So I'm really enjoying his presentation so far since he came back on the Raw after WrestleMania.
I fully agree. We then see Maxine Dupree, Natalia, and Akira Tozawa in Adam Pearce's office.
Knock.
Yep. Pierce is saying that it seems like Tozawa is in there asking for a rematch against Rusev. So Pierce tells him, I can't do that. But once you're cleared, you will. And then we see Sheamus roll up. And
yes, the ginger.
Yeah. And Sheamus says something to Akira. He says, I know you'll give that. I think he called him a hairy Neanderthal was what he called him. When he's cleared, he said, you'll give him hell. Pierce congratulates Sheamus on his return last week. And they talk about his match next week against Grayson Waller. I did see that during one of the commercials, A-Town Down Under was interviewed. And it looked like Waller set up another match with Theory for Sheamus, and Theory kind of one-upped them and said, no, I already did. You.
Yeah, so the inevitable's happening.
Yes.
The inevitable. It's just taking way too fucking long.
It's been like 2 years.
The inevitable is happening with those two finally, but it's taking way too fucking long. And it's just, it's to the point where fans don't care.
Yeah, it's sad because I feel like at one point they would have.
Yeah, obviously they're gonna pop when it happens, but it's still taking too long for that to happen. The friction has been there for a long time, so I don't know why they didn't pull the trigger when it was hot. I really don't understand why they didn't pull the trigger on them when it was hot, but it looks like Austin Theory they did it twice because the American audience didn't get to see it. So they pretty much confirmed this match twice on the show. They didn't get to see it, but that I feel like that match is going to be good also next week. I think they're going to have one hell of a match also. And talking about that, we're transitioning into what's going on next week.
Yeah,
the show that's going to happen next week. Next week, they start on Friday this week, but next week on Raw, the opening Money in the Bank qualifying matches on Monday Night Raw. Then you have a tag team that I never thought I would see in my entire life. You have AJ Styles teaming with Penta to take on Finn Balor and JD McDonough.
It's pretty good.
Which, Jesus, if I ever wanted a tag team, I guess that's the tag team I want. The alluded to Sheamus versus Grayson Waller match that we talked about. And then because of the backstage assault, we get Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker next.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
That's gonna be good. Obviously, you know who's gonna get involved in that match.
Oh, who isn't?
You're probably gonna have 3 or 4 people involved in that.
Well,
match.
I was gonna say I do feel like that is one thing, and this is like this is a side conversation for a different
overkill.
Time, but every match, I feel like in 85 to 90% of the matches, there's interference at some point.
I saw something on Twitter today that 47% of the matches on PLEs since Backlash last year have had some kind of foreign object used, interference, or something else.
Yeah, that's crazy.
47%.
Yeah, I feel like the TV matches might even be a higher percent than that. Like, I feel like it's just that way across the board lately. But, look, I'm not saying this stuff's not exciting, but it does feel like it's happening all the time. But with that being said, we get into this main event tonight, and these girls were working in this main event. Let me tell you,
hell of a main event.
This was tremendous.
But I mean, do you expect any different from the 4 competitors that are in this match?
No. Julia and Roxanne Perez versus Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. I mean, I know they're still kind of working both, but I mean, Julia and Roxanne Perez look like they belong immediately, as you knew they would. Stephanie Vaquer, who we saw for a couple, like, these girls are stars immediately.
WWE keeps telling that they're called up, but on commentary they keep saying the NXT girls, so it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating because what is the deal? Are they actually called up like these people within WWE are telling me and other people, or are they working double duty? What is the title? What is going on? Because neither one of them are needed in NXT anymore. They're not needed there. There's no story for them there anymore. What are we doing here? They don't need it anymore. So that's the one gripe that I have. What are they? What are we keeping them on Raw? Are we having them do both? Are they working just NXT now? What is the deal? I hope this gets answered quickly.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, both of them, but especially Roxanne. Like, Roxanne, it felt like she should have had her last NXT match like 3 matches ago. And then they just kind of keep popping her up there. I'm like, all right, I mean, whatever. I mean, she's having great matches, obviously. But but this main event, though, was quite good, Corey. Quite good.
It's exactly what I expected from these women. Big time opportunity for them to main event Monday Night Raw for the first time against the Women's World Champion and the former Women's World Champion. And they delivered on the level that I thought they were going to. A lot of back and forths in here. You got all 4 of them working with each other. Julia and Io got a lot of time in that ring together.
Yes, they did.
That drop kick from Julia to Io on the outside and Io's selling of it. Julia kicked her dead in the face.
Yeah, she did.
And Io fell back like she got hit by a grenade or something.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was very, very good. The match, like I said, we had some great spots between the 4 of these ladies. That suplex off the top rope from Julia.
Yeah, the underhook. They like
the underhook suplex. Yeah.
And thought that was really good.
You had Julia tried to put down Io, but Rhea broke it up. You had Michael Cole got confused and said Roxanne broke it.
I remember that.
But I understand because they were wearing basically
there were a couple times where Roxanne slid in the ring and I was like, oh, that's Rhea. But then obviously when she stood up, I was like, no, that's way smaller. That's a way smaller person than Rhea. But there was also a cool little moment where Io Sky kind of got Rhea to do like the Io Sky point thing. I mean, it didn't end up well for Rhea, but like, you know, Io Sky was trying to get Rhea into the like a little bit, and Rhea kind of broke a little bit and was like, yeah, all right, and kind of that was a fun little thing. But not far after that the top rope butterfly suplex, she did hit the Northern Lights bomb, which Rhea broke up. Then there was a nice backbreaker on Julia, and they're kind of going back and forth with each other. Rhea tags in. She shoves Julia like into a dive from
Roxanne was going for a crossbody off the top rope.
Yes.
And accidentally lands on Julia, and then Roxanne gets taken out, which ultimately leads to Rhea Ripley taking out Julia and getting the pin 1, 2, 3. And following the match, though, you have Io Sky and Rhea Ripley getting their hands raised. Io Sky's got the title raised up, and you have Rhea Ripley side-eyeing her, saying that I want that title, basically.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is something we see constantly. So I don't know when we're going to move away from Rhea Ripley.
I was going to say, I was going to ask you before we get out of there. So, I know obviously they do the thing with Rhea all the time, like you just said, where she's staring at the belt or whatever, no matter who has it. What is that? What is next for Rhea Ripley as a one-on-one feud with Io?
I think so. Because the original plan was to revisit some stuff with Bianca and Rhea after Mania.
But Bianca's injured. Not a
see
that picture of her.
Her finger.
Wow.
But I don't think it was going to result in a one-on-one match. I think they were going to have some stuff carry all the way over until
With the three
WrestleMania
of
next
them?
year.
Yeah.
I think WrestleMania next year is when they're still going to pull the trigger on that match.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Rhea versus Io is probably the move for Money in the Bank.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's the direction we're going.
What female match do you think they'll have on Saturday? There's got to be a ladies match on Saturday night's main event, right?
I think the mid card. I think the U.S. Women's Championship is probably going to be defended. I think Zelina Vega is probably going to defend it.
Against Chelsea, maybe Chelsea gets a rematch.
Probably,
maybe or something?
probably not Chelsea.
Okay.
Because she's been. It may be Alexa Bliss.
Oh yeah, that can make sense.
Maybe Alexa Bliss.
That would make sense after.
I think that's probably maybe what they'll do because they're partners right now, but she might give that to her as a favor for helping her against the Secret Harvest and Chelsea. Chelsea's been pinned twice now, so I don't think there's really a point for Chelsea to get a title opportunity. Piper Niven got pinned by Zelina Vega, so there's no reason for her to get a championship opportunity right now. Alba Fire's not really doing anything, so there's really no reason for her to do. I think that might be the move. I think the Women's United States Championship will probably be on the line at Saturday night's main event. I think that might be the move that we're getting. But then I'll talk about it a little bit right now. The rumored PLE that's supposed to be happening in July, Evolution 2. I think Evolution 2, there's going to be a major main event that they're going to happen. It was originally scheduled for July 5th in Connecticut. Scheduling conflict. And now it looks like PW Insider reported it this morning. And then I asked, and I was told basically, it looks like Saturday night's main event and Evolution are going to be happening the same weekend. Saturday night's main event on July 12th and Evolution on July 13th from State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. But the funny thing is none of that talent have been informed about any of this. So who knows? Okay. Who knows what the hell is going on? But I think that's the direction. I think that's also why you're getting a showcase of more women. Because Evolution 2 is coming up and they have to be strongly presented when it comes to Evolution 2.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. And listen, you got a women's roster like you have with the main roster in NXT. It's a good problem to have because you got a ton of women you can showcase that are top of the top.
Every brand,
literally, they're strong everywhere.
And then not even just WWE. You got your TNA knockouts that you could bring in. Maybe they'll tap into Marty Gold. Maybe you'll see Mayu come in and have a match potentially because she wants that match with Io Sky.
Yeah, she does.
She does want that match with Io Sky. But they also have their Summer Destiny show over there. So I don't know if WWE is going to send representation to that. Then obviously you have the AAA representation now. WWE is looking to bring some people into that division as well. So we'll see what happens. Ultimately, whether or not they pull the trigger on the show is to be determined. I think WWE is just pulling strings at this point right now because they want to be able to officially announce it themselves instead of having people like me be the ones to break the news because they were not very. I found out they were not very happy with me putting out the news last week that Night of Champions and SmackDown were going to be taking place in Saudi Arabia.
Fair.
They want to be able to have this news themselves. As you notice, a lot of the times these wrestling companies don't give credit to the people who break the news first. But to talk about Raw was very good tonight. Definitely enjoyed it. Exactly what I thought it was going to be last week when we talked about it. Looks like Julia and Roxanne had a segment on social media after the show. Let me check it out real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out and I'm gonna play it so people can hear it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We came here to make a statement. We came here to make history, and that's not what we did tonight. That's not what we did. We need to refocus. We need to ask for a rematch. We need to talk to Adam Pearce, and then we need to. Hey. There's no we.
She said there's no we.
There's no we. Julia said there's no we.
Did she walk off after that?
Yeah.
Oh, so they're done with that already, huh?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think
Ruse.
that's the ultimate. I don't think that's actually what's happening.
Could be all the ruse.
You're not gonna have that video package air where they say we're coming here to take over together.
Yeah.
And then after one tag team match, they're done.
Yeah.
I don't
think that's the way to go.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
No. Not a ton of comments tonight, but we got some if you want to run through them before.
Yeah, I saw the people from Twitch.
Yes.
Bailey said Cory with the slip back. Yeah, my hair is growing, man. It's growing like crazy. If you can't notice, I keep putting water in it because it's growing so fast. I don't want it to stand up anymore. The military cut days are over. I let it grow out now. CJ, what's up, CJ brother? Pyro, how you doing? Carrying for Money in the Bank. I would like to see him win a qualifying match to get into the Money in the Bank
100%.
match. I don't think he's going to win the briefcase, but I would love to see him in there.
If before we go to the last couple comments, if you had right now, because I'm kind of, we got a little ways to go. Who would be your top 1 or 2 potential candidates in your brain right now? For both or men, yeah.
There's 2 in each division that I want to see win the Money in the Bank briefcase. For the men, you have Carmelo Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see Melo win.
He's on my short list, yeah.
I'd like Karrion Kross is the other one. I'd like to see Karrion Kross win the Money in the Bank briefcase. For the women, Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
I want Naomi to win the Money in the Bank briefcase so she can cash in and get that Women's World Championship because she is due for a big push this year. Mm-hmm. It has already started. And they're ultimately going to run Jade versus Naomi again for that, probably. Yeah. And then Roxanne Perez.
Yeah.
Roxanne Perez is on the list for me for women also. I think they should pull the trigger and do the Tiffany Stratton route with her because they haven't been really doing her any favors when it comes to wins, losses at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I think her going up against the best of the best and putting up performances like she has shown the brass exactly who she is and what she has to offer. And I think that she should get this Tiffany Stratton treatment and win the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah, those are 4 good choices. I feel like those are kind of click the boxes of like up and comers / like people that we know are going to be future world champions. I like those picks a lot. All right. Yeah. Sorry. Why don't you finish out the rest of the comments and then we'll kind of do it.
Concerned how Dom didn't learn about time zones in school. I mean, he should know all about time zones when he's traveling every single week to different. He travels every single week to different time zones. So how do you not know that you're on a different time zone? You reside in San Diego and you're flying to different places. It's not the same time in San Diego as it is in these places. So they kind of made him look stupid there.
Stupider than we know. Dom's kind of a knucklehead, but they made him look like you're an idiot if you don't know what time zone. Like that's like a different kind of dumb. Yeah.
Yeah, it made him look like he didn't pay attention to anything. He doesn't know anything about time or nothing. He's just here to wrestle.
Yeah, it's fair.
Marcus said, "What's good? What's good, Marcus? How you doing, brother?" Gabriel said, "TikTok, exactly." He had a match on Main Event, and he got the win on Main Event. That's gonna air this week.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't talk about it, but I'll talk about it right now since he was mentioned. He's giving his T-shirts to the New Day in the background.
Yes, I did see that. Yes,
he's giving his T-shirts to the New Day in the background. So he's not getting as much TV time just yet, but he's doing stuff. You always have to pay attention to the little details in the background. And Roxanne Perez, the last 2 weeks, has been talking to Finn Balor. She's been talking to Finn Balor the last 2 weeks, so I'm interested to see where that goes. Because what I thought originally was he's talking to her about them taking the tag team titles off of Liv and Raquel. But now that there's tension, it looks like with Roxanne and Julia, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows at this point? And then let's see. Gabriel said, I'm interested where this goes with Alexa Bliss stuff, potentially why it's coming back. The wheels are in motion, brother. The wheels are in motion. We're going to see them. We're going to see them back. Yeah. I haven't got official word when. I think it would make sense to bring them back on Bray Wyatt's birthday.
23rd?
Bray Wyatt's birthday.
23rd, right? May 23rd, I want to say.
It's the 20. Yeah,
the 23rd. It's the 23rd.
And that's the SmackDown. That's the date of a SmackDown, Savannah, Georgia. They're having the day of SmackDown before Saturday night's main event. I feel like that would be the perfect opportunity to bring them back. Right. But WWE might bring them back this week. We'll see. They really don't want to give information on the Wyatts. They're really not giving anybody information. Everybody's getting the same info from them. They just say soon or when the time is right. They've been saying that for the last month since Bo Dallas got cleared. So,
but I could see Alexa. She's being friendly with Zelina now, but once the Wyatts are ready to come back and do their thing, I could see Alexa kind of turning to the dark side and taking that title from Zelina.
Lily's already got her flipping the switch.
Yeah.
So and if you noticed on SmackDown, she was talking to Charlotte and said, "Let's chat. We need to talk." So there's something going on.
Yeah.
I think that Charlotte's gonna undergo a character change if the Queen is no longer going to be here. I think it's officially time for a new character there.
But look at it. I'm not against it. She's been that
because
for a long time.
Cody Rhodes of PWN had reported a few months back that people were going to get new presentations and new theme songs, including the New Day, Logan Paul, and Charlotte Flair. Well, 2 out of the 3 have gotten it now, so I think it's time for them to pull the trigger on Charlotte Flair.
Fair. Very good stuff tonight, as always. And it is time for us to be making our way on out of here. So why don't you obviously plug where you are on social media, plug what else you got coming up, and let the people know where they can follow you if they already don't somehow.
Socials is my handles right there for everything pretty much. The only one that's not like that is TikTok, because TikTok will not allow an underscore. So TikTok is the same without the underscore. Thursday, I will be live for episode 2 of Bodyslam on here, on the Bodyslam network with Cassidy. Very successful first episode. We had a lot of fun. It went about an hour and a half, so I'm looking forward to seeing what we talk about this week. He traveled to Backlash. He traveled to St. Louis and traveled home the same day, driving 8.5, 9 hours around both ways. So we're gonna have some stuff to talk about this week. But that's where you can find me. If you're not on Twitter, I do drop scoops sometimes, so you'll be able to find some scoops on there for me whenever I do get them. So stay tuned for those. And then what do you got going up, and where can people find you?
Yeah, man. You can follow me right here, JPJ Loves Gaming, on all social media platforms. You can find me here every Monday night with Cory after Raw for Raw Dogs. You can find me here every Wednesday night. Besides this one, I have a work engagement, so there's going to be somebody filling in for me with Jose on Dynamite Up, the post show here on bodyslam.net. But usually every Wednesday you can find me with Jose Gonzalez, Jose on the air, doing the Dynamite post show here on Bodyslam as well. And then for more of my wrestling stuff on Thursday, I have a couple of shows over on lovewrestling.ca. Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, Between Two Beards with my man Pluggo, and then Thursday mornings we have Firmly Inc. with me and Drew Nicholas. So that's where you can find me. But if you just follow me right here, you can find all the links and all the good posts when all that stuff goes live. So that's the easiest spot to figure all that out. So that's what I got going on. But yeah, man, another good episode of Raw, another good chat with you, going over it again. We're on a roll here. We've done this 2-3 weeks in a row. We're on a roll. I like it.
We will have a lot to talk about next week too. With that show,
they're setting us up some big Raws. They're setting us up some big Raws here, which is nice.
That one, we're gonna have a nice Raw next week with the unannounced qualifying matches. Right now, we'll have some good matches next week. That tag team match we talked about, I'm really looking forward to that.
Should be very good.
That'll be the go home show before Saturday night's main event. So it'll have some story coinciding with what's gonna happen that Saturday. Then, after Saturday night's main event, the following Monday, I'll be at Monday Night Raw.
Yes.
I'll be at Monday Night Raw, but we're going to try and do the show.
Yeah, we'll try to figure it out.
On my way home, I'm going to be on the phone, hopefully, driving home from Monday Night Raw, going Raw Dog.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Everybody in the chat, appreciate you hanging in. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight for another episode of Raw Dogs. Cory and I, well, he'll see you on Thursday with Cassidy, but Cory and I will see you again next Monday night after Raw. And until then, be good, people. Thank you for tuning in to Bodyslam.
And never forget to go Raw on a Monday.
Damn right. You're damn right. We'll see y'all soon. We'll see you next week for next
Peace.
week's Raw Dogs.